Okay, this video is for benchmark number 1, and this is review day 1. The focus of this video is function notation. So there are a few questions here to help refresh your memory from the beginning of first semester. So what is meant by f of x? What is meant by f of x is that is exactly what we mean by function notation. Okay, so this is function notation. Okay, so what is the input and the output of a function? Well, let me give you an example. So let's say I'm starting with f of x equals 3x plus 5. Okay. The input is the value that is right here. It could be represented by a variety of letters. It could be represented by a number or a different variable. It could be another expression like x plus h. It could be a variety of variables and numbers. So, but what is in these parentheses is the input, and it matches with this here. Okay, so this is the input. The output is represented by this whole piece. So f of x is the output. Okay, so what we want you to remember is f of x really is equal to y. This is a more advanced way of showing the expression or the equation that we're looking at. So what is meant by evaluate? What we mean by evaluate is that you are going to simplify. So you simplify the function by substituting the input into the function. Simplify by substituting the input into the function and then you simplify for what y is, or simplify for the output. Okay, so below we have many examples. There are 4 functions given to you: g of x, f of x, h of x, and j of x. Below that are several different examples of what we mean by evaluating. You'll see the word evaluate right here. So for the first one, we have g of 10. That's the way you say that, g of 10. This is the input. We're going to put the input into wherever this variable is in the function. How do we know which function to use? Well, we match the letters. So g is this function right here. So I'm going to substitute the 10 in for x. So negative 3 times 10 plus 1. And then we just keep simplifying. So negative 30 plus 1, which equals negative 29. Okay, so right now you will pause this video and complete B through E. Okay, welcome back. Here are the answers. Now this one may have tricked you a little. The input is the variable a, so a goes where you see the x here. And that's it. Okay. All right, so the next problems we're going to do, or the reason I stopped you here, is because the questions in F, G, and H are a little bit different. What makes them different is because the x, it remains an x, but what you're given is a y value. Okay, so because we have the y value and we're looking for the input, that's exactly how we set it up. So it's the same problems. It's backwards from what you were doing in the previous problems. So we set up with what we know is y, and that is equal to the g function, which is negative 3x plus 1, and we solve for x. Subtract 1 from both sides. Divide by negative 3. So x is equal to negative 5. Okay, so you're going to pause the video and solve for the next two. Okay, here are your answers. Okay, did you remember the plus or minus when you took the square root? If not, try to remember that. Every time you take the square root and you're solving for a variable, you must include the plus or minus. Okay, the next two problems that we're going to do is now we're going to relate the function to making a graph of that table. Same problems. You're given these inputs and you're going to solve for the y values. And then down here, it's just like the other ones that we did. So let me just show you the first one, and then you will have an opportunity to complete these two. So f of -6. 3 minus 4, -6. So this is my input, and I put the -6, or I substitute the -6 wherever I see the x value, right there. So f of -6 is equal to 3 plus 24, which is 27. So you would fill that in here. Okay. When I show you the graph, don't worry about graphing -6, 27 because it won't fit here. But the rest of them, actually the -3 doesn't fit either. So use the graph that you're given. That's fine. Okay, so you will pause the video and then complete numbers 2 and 3. Okay, so now the ordered pairs. 0, 3. Little tricky on this. 1, 0, 3, 1, -1, 2, 1, 2, 5. And my line. A little tricky. Okay. This next one. Okay. So the square root of 3 might have been a little tricky and wondering where does that go? I know I would get a calculator and approximate that the square root of 3 is 1.7, which fits right into this graph. So as I draw this graph, I know that it would really fit in here, and you can approximate drawing that ordered pair on there. Okay. All right, that's it. Now you will get more direction about writing a summary of your notes and how to annotate and make connections to previous learning. Okay, bye.